Good morning, New Marshall. How's it going? It's good to see you. I figure I do a early morning stream. I was just going through some boxes, and I figure I turn the camera on, and whoever would like to join is more than welcome. So, what's up, buyer boys? Massive coin roll hunter. Thank you guys for joining me. It's a very difficult day for not just New Yorkers, but everyone that has experienced the tragedy of 9/11 in this country. So uh, I did earlier this morning watch the news and the tribute, and I hope everyone at least took a second to pay some respects. I hope everybody is having a good morning in spite of the difficult day, but it's just one of those days that we'll never forget. And thank you. I don't know what I'm going to be finding. Yesterday, I actually got skunked 3 boxes of halves and came up completely empty. One proof and a few NIFCs through 3 boxes. It was absolutely brutal, but it is what it is. Let me just grab the trusty Kershaw. And I hooked up my USB microscope today, so I figure I take this time to test it out. Like I said, I was not planning on streaming today. I just wanted uh, to at least get on the live stream and see if anyone wanted to just reminisce about 9/11 and where you were during that difficult time. I'm going to start with the pennies here. It's been a while since I coin roll hunted pennies. Trusty Kershaw. And let's see how this USB microscope works out. Let's take a look. Testing, 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 testing. Okay, you can hear me now, Phil? All right, sound. Yeah, I was testing out the USB microscope here. Actually, I have been using it, but unfortunately, I'm not able to use it on the live stream. So I did try to hook it up. Unfortunately, it's not working out. So it was worth a shot. I do use it off camera, though. Hope you guys are doing okay considering the circumstances. What's going on, Ohio Hobbies? Thanks for joining me. If you can, just hit that thumbs up, guys. See if there are more people that want to join. So we have two Wheaties through the first 4 rolls. Doing a little penny hunt here. Testing, testing. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why it wasn't picking up the microphone. All right, George, how's it going? I was talking to you before I realized that the sound, I was wondering why people weren't responding. I was like, I guess no one's in the mood to speak today. Thank you guys for joining me. It's a very difficult day for a lot of Americans. I was just watching the tribute earlier, and just to hear those names being read out, name after name after name, it's just you can't help but think about their families. And George, thank you for joining me all the way from the UK. I know you couldn't make last night's stream. And we have another Wheatie here. Let's see. Another 1957 Denver. So that's Wheatie number 3. They are very plentiful in my area. I honestly don't hunt pennies as often as I would like. Today's one of those days where you'll always remember where you were when the tragedy took place. I mean, it's almost been 20 years. It's hard to believe that it's been that long. I remember the event like if it was yesterday, as I'm sure you all do as well. Oh, you were in Iraq. So how'd you hear about the news, Phil? Who reached out? Was it someone reached out to you and let you know, or someone at the base? What's going on, Matting? Yes, I just turned on the camera, Matting. I was going for about 5 minutes before I realized I didn't have sound because my USB microscope was plugged in as well. So I'm not able to use the USB microscope alongside the webcam without sacrificing the sound. But I figured I'd turn on the camera if you guys wanted to join me as I hunt through these pennies. So I'm glad you guys are there. We're just reminiscing about the event. Phil says it was 11 p.m. there, and we were getting ready to go out on patrol, and the PA system called all personnel to the rec hall. And that's where it was announced, right? We have a fourth Wheatie. Do I use OBS? It's early. Please remind me what OBS is. The brain is still waking up. 1951 here. You walked in. Oh, so they had it, had the news playing. All right, George, thanks for stopping in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Broadcasting. No, I'm just, no, I do not use OBS. I'm just streaming straight on YouTube. Oh, it was live. Wow. Oh, so everyone came in and it was playing live. That is insane. Oh, thank you, Stacking Silver with D. I appreciate that. Uh, I hope you sent it to the correct name. Uh, I've had a few issues with the PO box, so my full name and mailing address is in my. You can find it in the previous video's description. I don't have any info on this particular video. I'm just kind of winging it today. But if you want to verify, awesome. Yeah, it's my full government name because I'm not receiving mail under the Saka Plata name for some reason. So I have to sort out some paperwork to make sure I can fix that. Until then, it has to be under the government name. I really appreciate that, Stacking Silver with D. And once I receive it, I'll send you something as well. I did order some more stickers, so I have quite a few that I would like to send out. That is Wheatie number 4. I will have to check that out. Maddie. Yeah, I went straight to command and knew it meant war and we were going to get orders changed. Right. So when that was announced or when you guys saw it live, how long before you guys were put into action, and what action was what was the response? What was the initial response from the generals? Did they station you anywhere specifically? Did they send you guys straight from Iraq to Afghanistan? How did that work? This is a 1945 Wheatie number 5. We couldn't initially go straight to attack because the war needed. Yes, but did they not specifically to engage, but did they change the strategy immediately, or was it kind of a standstill waiting for clearance? And how long did it take for that new strategy, new plan to take effect? Entire divisions were being moved immediately to the. Oh wow! So they did not waste any time, or you guys did not waste any time. You know, I remember when I was when I heard the news, I was in high school at the time. Literally, military cities being packed up that night and relocated. Wow. Yeah, that must have been complete chaos and madness. This is, let's see if we can get a shot at this. This is a 1930. It does have some grime on it. I don't want to, let's see if it comes off lightly here. I may have to just let it soak. Uh, let's see if we can see that. 1930. 5 or 6. It's hard to tell. Maybe 8. I would have to let it soak a little bit. But that is Weedy number 6. I've never seen the hustle that was seen those days. Lots of us new people in the building, so it's absolutely. I could imagine the immediate outrage. I mean, after the initial shock, the last thing you're expecting on a beautiful day like that day of 9/11, it was absolutely beautiful. The skies were clear. You would not expect anything to go wrong that day. And as we all know, things took a turn for the worse. From my high school, I remember seeing a military, check that out, a military plane flying right over my high school. I actually was in biology class and didn't think anything was wrong, but a lot of sirens, a lot of ambulances on the highway, the FDR. We were in East Harlem, and I just remember hearing fire trucks, ambulances, cop cars constantly zooming down the FDR. And after a while, I started picking up on it, and I said, "Wait, that's a lot of sirens. This is kind of ongoing. What's going on?" And before you know it, they announced what happened and that school was out and that you had to call your parents to come pick you up. I'll give you a clue as to what we saw as we waited to go in. Literally truckloads of ammo, 50, 60 trucks deep at a time daily. They knew it was going to be hard hitting. Wow. It's one of those things where it's sometimes you think it's only in 1950 here. That some things that you only believe you can see in movies, and then when it's happening right before your eyes, you know, to see everybody just gear up for war, and it's got to be something. I ended up having to get my uncle to pick me up from high school. God rest his soul. He did pass away recently. And he picked up me and one of my best friends at the time. And we walked from East Harlem to Midtown Manhattan on the west side. I would say it had to be at least 5, 6 miles. The trains were shut down. The buses, there were only express buses running from one point to the other point, obviously not making regular stops. You saw people hopping into strangers' cars on the back of their trucks. It was a horrible moment, but you saw the best of New York during that time. Everyone uniting together to help each other make sure everyone gets home safe. The 1 mile long convoys, when we got the green light, we saw something to see. Tanks, plane, and copter escorts the whole way. We wanted blood. Yeah, I mean that is understandable. The reaction, to seeing that visual. The first reaction was definitely shock, and then an instant reaction of anger, as you would expect. First, it doesn't hit you, and when it does hit you, you react with fury because you want to know who who to hold accountable. We have 9 people in the chat. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good morning, considering obviously this is a very somber day, but we're all going through it together. Obviously, some people are having it harder than others, and it's important to be there for each other during this difficult time as we remember the tragic events of 9/11. This is a 1946, not in bad shape. That is Wheatie number 8, and we are not even halfway through the box. And I hope everyone's doing well. Feel free to share your experience of 9/11, what you went through during that day. Phil was just saying he was in Iraq when he saw the the live feed of what took place and how quickly they were pushed into action. Colorado, thank you for joining me, brother. Colorado, for those that don't know, Colorado probably is one of the few people in this world that can say that they survived not only the tragedy, Colorado was actually in the building when it collapsed, and he somehow survived. And I just have an enormous amount of respect for you, Colorado, and I'm glad you're here with us during this tough time. We are here for you if you need us. And I know there's no way that you'll ever be able to remove the trauma that you experienced almost 20 years on this day. It's a reminder. Moments like these are reminders that it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, we have to join as human beings and help each other the best we can. We're all sharing this earth, and it's important to make life as cohesive as possible for everyone. I appreciate that, Colorado. I'm glad that me being here can help you out. I wasn't planning on streaming. Obviously, I don't stream in the mornings, but uh, I said, you know what? I'm going to be coin roll hunting and remembering 9/11. I might as well turn on the camera. Maybe there's some people that would like to join me and reminisce alongside me. So thank you guys. This is, oh, check this out. A 1990. The pig is in the building. Very cool. So this box has been hitting pretty well. I'm glad to be here, Colorado. Thanks for joining me, guys. We have 9 people in the chat. If you guys would like to share your experience on this day, please don't be shy. I know it's a tough time and it's very hard to recount what took place. Yes, Phil was just recounting his experience. So thank you for sharing that, Phil. How's it going, Silver Nitrate? You made a stream all the way from Hawaii. Aloha, my friend. Thank you for the mail call shout out. We're doing pennies today, nothing crazy. I was going to open these boxes off camera, but I figure it is a tough day for many people. Me being a native New Yorker, this day will always be close to my heart. I do know people that have lost family and friends. I'm glad you like it, Silver Nitrate. I actually ran out in about less than 2 days, so I had to place an additional order. I will also be ordering coasters. Well, I did order coasters, and I will be ordering magnets as well. Sticker Mule has very good quality. I'm not sure if you checked them out, Silver Nitrate, but if you haven't, give them a try. I can send you a link that will give you $10 off if you're interested. You can email me at soccerplatany@gmail.com. And I don't have my sign with me, or else I would have posted it. Oh, actually, I do. Boom, right there. soccerplatany@gmail.com. And guys, I'm not currently accepting donations for this stream. This is just to hang out, reminisce together. Obviously, Colorado, much respect to Colorado. He was in one of the towers when it collapsed. And when you told me that story, I just couldn't get over it. And I still think about it anytime I hear the about the 9/11 tragedy. But thank you so much for your service. I will always be grateful. We have found 8 Wheaties and 1 Canadian so far. Yes, he was. Not only was he in one of the towers when it collapsed, but he survived, and he is here with us to share the story. So I'm very glad that you're here to talk about it, as I'm sure your family is. Barely is all you need, Colorado. Barely alive is definitely better than the alternative. You are a strong individual, I tell you that. You know, I had a mentor growing up that he one time he was at a club, and he was on the second floor of the club or the third floor of the club. It was overcrowded, and the club actually collapsed when he was inside. And he stood up after that and dropped, passed out, but he was able to survive. And we're talking 3 stories. So for you to survive being on what, the 30th floor, was it, Colorado? Was it the 30th floor? How's it going, Victoria? Good morning. Thank you for joining me. We are just reminiscing on this very difficult day. Yes, Colorado was on the 30th floor of one of the towers, and somehow, by a miracle, survived. We have a Canadian 1991 here. And guys, please hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already done so. I am trying to continue to grow my stream, and that sure helps out with that. But you know, my first thought when I heard about the towers getting hit was my mother, because at that time she was working at the Empire State Building, and you know, the news was shared that the buildings were hit, that the Pentagon was hit, and my concern was that being that the Empire State Building was and is a landmark, I was afraid that that would be one of the targets as well. And, it was just a very scary time for a lot of people, not just New Yorkers. It was a target. And because the order was put to ground all the planes, is that what caused, is that what, I guess, prevented any more incidents? I'm aware of United 93, the plane that was uh, that crashed in Pennsylvania. Yeah, they could not tell what planes were threats and what planes weren't. So the order to ground all planes was issued by the president. And there was a scary moment where the vice president was asked if they would give the okay to shoot down any commercial airlines that did not obey the order to ground their planes. And the vice president did say that yes, they would give the okay. So, in my opinion, 93 was shot down. Well, that's definitely a possibility. I know the movie had depicted the passengers as rebelling and attempting to save themselves on the plane against the hijackers. My brother was a part of the cleanup crew. He put his clothes in a sealed bag. You can still smell the smoke and fuel. Yeah, the clouds that were created uh, by the collapse of these towers could have been seen from space, guys. That's how significant that smoke was, and many people are suffering still to this day because of that, because of those fumes and chemicals. Yeah, I believe that plane was heading for Washington, D.C., if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, Colorado. Yeah, it was just unreal. During such a horrendous time, you were able to see a glimpse of the beauty of what can happen when people come together in the face of evil. That's how it should be all the time, guys. It was heading. Wow. Yeah. I mean, you cannot blame. Uh, you cannot blame the government and the president for giving the okay. If that was the case, to prevent any more lives from being lost, it's a decision that no one should have to make. And if anyone else wants to share their experience of what occurred on that day, I'm sure we all remember where we were and what we were doing. Like I mentioned earlier, I was in biology class in my high school in East Harlem when I heard the news. I remember it like it was yesterday. Such a vivid picture. Hey, Silver Keys. Yes, I didn't know I was streaming either, Silver Keys. I was going to do some off-camera coin roll hunting as I pay my respects to the victims of 9/11. I was watching the tribute earlier. But thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are having a good morning considering the circumstances. While I was in the hospital, the president came in and shook your hand. Wow. So that might have been the military plane that I saw flying out of New York that zoomed over my high school may have been containing the president at that time. Just an unreal situation. My wife was talking to me about what she experienced that day. She was actually downtown, so she was much closer to ground zero than I was. And she actually had to run across the Brooklyn Bridge with a mob of people covered in soot and dirt and debris. People were bleeding, crying. I mean, you can imagine. This is a 1950. That mint mark is hard to read. Let's see if we can get a closer look. It looks like it's almost a filled Denver mint mark. Absolutely. Colorado was one of those people. All right, I'll see you in a bit, Colorado. He was one of those people that were actually in the tower when it collapsed, and by a miracle, he was able to survive. He was on the 30th floor. So that does look like a filled Denver mint mark here. I will take a closer look. I did try to hook up the USB microscope, but when I did, I lost sound, so I had to disconnect it. And we have a second Wheatie in this roll. This is a 1956. That 6 looks weird. And that is Wheatie number 11. I'm sorry, Wheatie number 10. Yes, I'm getting the Wheaties for Silver Keys and US Silver Stacker at their request. I did tell you I picked up some boxes. Finally was able to pick up some boxes of pennies. I have been itching to do a penny hunt. Just didn't think it was going to be live on camera, but I'm glad you guys are joining me. It is a very somber day in New York and all across the country. Michael Kittles, thank you for joining me. Michael Kittles was in college in Illinois. Remember that afternoon seeing Air Force One and escorts overhead flying back to DC, the only planes in the sky. Yeah, I actually saw a military plane. I guess it must have been Air Force One zooming over my high school in East Harlem. How's it going, Dizzy? Congratulations on 100 subscribers. Dizzy just did his giveaway earlier today. Congratulations to the winners. We have another Wheatie. This box is pulling out Wheaties. This is Wheatie number 11, 1948. And we're just reminiscing on our experiences during this tragic day almost 20 years ago. I was watching the tribute earlier today, and I just can't get over how many people it really is. If you sit there and hear name after name after name, it really hammers home how big of a tragedy this was and how many families were affected. Forever will be a life-changing event. Silver Nitrate is in the building from Hawaii. He said, finally, a live stream I can make. What's the time difference over there, Silver Nitrate? I would love to switch places, Silver Nitrate. Hawaii is a place I would love to visit one day. We have a Canadian. 6 a.m. About to wake up the family and get ready for work. 6 a.m. Wow, 6 hour time difference. This is a 1965 Canadian. Very nice. That is the third Canadian in the box. So 3 Canadians and 11 Wheaties. And we have about 20 rolls remaining in this box. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure to check on your friends and family. Everyone handles these situations differently, and some may not be the best at expressing their feelings and just may need someone to speak to. So make sure you guys are there. Silver Keys was driving a school bus, and when I arrived at the bus barn, it was on the radio. The maintenance guy stole cable from a nearby school building, wiring the bus barn in so we could watch live on TV. Yeah, it was just, I remember at night when I finally arrived at home after about a 6 mile hike. Check this out. This is a 1945. That is number 12. And when I arrived home, I just remember placing my bed on the floor right next to the TV. My eyes were completely glued to the TV, and I was watching news coverage until I fell asleep. When I woke up in the morning, the first question was this a dream? Did this really happen? Yes, it was, Americans came together like never before, or at least in rare instances. I don't recall in my lifetime ever seeing such unity before. It's a shame that that unity did not continue past a year or two. It's like everything just reverted back to the old ways. And it takes moments and events like these to really put it in perspective and to see what's really important is to unite as human beings because we're all human beings. We have to remember that. We're all on the same team. Another weedy here. This is a 50, 1950. Weedy number 13. And we have a Canadian back here. 1970. And that is Canadian number 4. So yes, we are finding quite a few items. And I'm not really even checking for double dyes or for errors or varieties. I'm kind of just brushing through a little bit. It is just past noon on the East Coast. I'm not sure if I'm going to crack this half box open or not. We did get skunked last night. 3 boxes of halves were opened on last night's stream. Unfortunately, not one silver was found. We did find a proof and some NIFCs, but that is it. And I have yet to find an Indian head penny. To add to my collection. And if anyone wants to share, if anyone else wants to share their recollection of what happened and what they experienced almost 20 years from today, please feel free. A great deal of people were lost. And you can still see the pain on their families' faces as they read their names. All right, Silver Keys, you do what you have to do. Thanks for muting me and not disconnecting me. Hopefully I can find my first Indian head. We have a weedy here. In bad shape. This is a 1949. And that is weedy number 14. What is the average that you guys normally find in a penny box? For those that do search through pennies, how many Wheaties do you normally pull? Dizzy says 15 to 20. That's a nice amount. I think that's a solid number. Michael says 10 per box. This is the first penny hunt I'm doing in months, and it feels great. I have 14 Wheaties and 4 Canadians so far. And we have about 8 rolls left, including this one. Another Wheatie, guys. This is a 1951 out of Denver. Oops. Sorry about that. Sorry, webcam. Yeah, see, this is the USB hub that I tried to use over here to connect my USB microscope, but pennies take me forever. I try to cherry pick. I try to find anything. Yeah, usually when you do pennies, there are so many varieties to look through. And normally I look into them, but today I am just kind of breezing by looking for Canadians and Wheaties. But I do normally use my USB microscope so that I can, or my jeweler's loop to check for errors in varieties. But if I did that, I'd be here until past my daughter's pickup time. 7 hours later. Well, this is a Wheatie. I believe it's a Wheatie, but what the hell happened here? Looks like a sticker. This is a 19. Wow. 1925. And look at the reverse. Any recommendations? Should I just let it soak in some warm water, hoping that this sticker can kind of fade off? 1925. Wow. That is the oldest one that we found today. Yeah, it looks like this feels like a sticker here. I do not want to scratch it off. I think I'm just going to let that soak a little bit. Warm water might help. So that is Wheatie number 16. $19.25. All right, Victoria, thank you so much for stopping in, and I hope you have a great day. And yes, we are all with Colorado. And I hope to see you on the next stream tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, we have 4 rolls remaining. I think that might be a record for how fast I've gone through a penny box. The stream is showing 58 minutes, but I probably took about 55 minutes to go through this box. New Marshall was working at Memphis International Airport. It was crazy, all the planes and thousands of suitcases I had to handle. Yeah, that must have been insane. Once the order was given for all planes to be grounded, I could imagine the chaos at the airports and the confusion. You know, I'm not sure if they were on the planes, the people, the passengers on the planes. I'm not sure if they were notified. I assume they were notified while they were on the plane. They might have even seen it on TV on the plane, which would have been so frightening. 1944, that is number 17. Yeah, if I was a passenger on a commercial airlines plane and I saw that news while I was in the air, it would definitely frighten me. It would frighten me to begin with, let alone being in the air. So I'm not sure if the airlines or the pilot or the stewardess were informed to refrain from providing that information, or if they announced it. We have another Canadian here. This is a 1984. That is Canadian number 5. So a solid box here. 17 Wheaties, 5 Canadians, and 1 roll remaining. All the planes were grounded. All the trains in New York City were suspended, and the buses as well. All right, so not a bad penny box. 5 Wheaties, 17. I'm sorry, 17 Wheaties, 5 Canadians, and being that it's 12:19, I do have time to go through the box of halves. So let's take a look here. Mine as well. Trusty Kershaw. And recounting what took place that day makes me also think about my friends in school during that time. And you can't help but wonder how they're doing. Sometimes you even just want to reach out, and say, oh, hope all is well. Obviously, everyone lives a much different life than they lived almost 20 years ago. And it's hard to believe that it was only almost 20 years ago. So we didn't find any silver last night through 3 boxes. But it was a fun stream. Really enjoyed myself. And those that joined me as well, I hope you guys had a good time also. These Brinks rolls have not been working out for me lately. And someone won a Barber dime last night. Who was that? Who won the Barber? Oh, Chris Brumman. Chris Brumman won the Barber dime last night. What I ended up doing was, because there were minimal donations, what I did was every person that donated was eligible to win an additional prize, the Barber dime. There were about 6 separate donators, and Chris Brumman was able to edge them out for the win. We also did a mini battle royal head-to-head between U.S. Silver Stacker and Colorado. Colorado was able to win with a 2008 NIFC, and he then gave away his winnings to U.S. Silver Stacker, which is very cool. These rolls do not look encouraging at all. Last week I did quarters, uncirculated quarters. Those quarters, uncirculated 2019 quarter rolls were very, very kind to me and to those that donated as well. If you didn't check out my previous videos, the $1,500 in uncirculated quarters, please find the time to check it out. We found over 25 W's in one box. It was really, really epic, that stream. Probably my best stream to date. Mickey Robs Banks got 13 W's for his donation. Cutie Cat found found 5 in 8 rolls. Maximus got a W. Everybody that donated that night received at least 1 W. Every single donator. So it was a very cool night. But last night we came crashing back down to earth because we only found 1 proof through through 3 boxes. but you have to expect kind of like the silver price. It shot up from 14 and change over the past few months, and it shot up to almost $20, and then it came back down to just under 18 before going back up. So there is a correction that you have to kind of anticipate when things are increasing that rapidly. And I have 3 half-dollar boxes waiting in the wings for tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Time. Speaking of Chris Brumman, what's going on, Chris Brumman? I was just singing your praises for your donation last night, and you were able to win the Barber Dime as well. I wasn't planning on streaming today, but I did have a couple of boxes I was going to open behind the scenes. I figured I'd turn the camera on and see if anyone wanted to hang out and reminisce on the events from 9/11 from almost 20 years ago. So if you do want to share your experience, what you went through, where were you, what were you doing during this tragedy, feel free. But thank you for joining me either way. And I will be streaming tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Time as well. We went through a penny box earlier and we found 17 Wheaties and 5 Canadians. So not a bad box. I just picked up a box of nickels and pennies for my bank, plus 20 of pennies in customer wrap rolls. Well, good luck, Busy. I hope you find something special in there. These Brinks rolls have not been working out as of late. I think I'm going to just switch over to NF String and Sons more frequently. I don't want to completely cut off Brinks, obviously, but Dunbar has been really doing well in comparison. Well, my bank is in the heart of a senior community. Oh, very nice. That's a good strategy. That is a good strategy. I look for those as well. I look to see where I can go that people may not realize what they're depositing or what they're turning in. (2003), the first NIFC of the box. But that penny box felt great. Went through that box in less than an hour. Happy with the finds. Always like finding Canadians as well. Still can't get them to order halves, though. They didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, they're afraid that they're going to get stuck with it. That's what the problem is. Not only does it cost the bank money to order them, but if they get stuck with them, they cannot send them off until they receive at least $2,000 worth. So they end up getting stuck with all the halves if they're not picked up. Not too long ago, at one of my branches, that I normally don't get anything from, it's just a local Chase Bank. I stepped in there. I asked for if I can order some halves, and they said, "Well, actually, we have boxes of halves if you would like them." I said, "What, right now?" They said, "Yeah, we have four." I said, "Oh, you have four boxes, huh?" He was like, "We were going to actually send them in today. They were scheduled for pickup. If you will take them, we'll cancel the pickup and give them to you." I said, "All right, I'll take two today, and I'll pick up the other two the following day." And then they were so grateful. They were able to keep a revolving order of two boxes a week for me, which is not that big considering I get 12 boxes a week from a different branch. But it was very nice to have that option as well. Yeah, I mean, talk about timing. And those boxes were very, very lucrative in terms of the fines. I think one of them may have been a proof collection dump, and the other was a silver collection dump. A modest silver collection dump, not the ones that you see sometimes on YouTube where they're finding 50, 60, even 100. Yep, it is a numbers game, Dizzy. So anytime you can increase those numbers and increase your production, I would recommend you do so. Like for instance, when I first started, I was only able to get one box of halves um, at a time. So I would get a box of halves, go through it in my car, dump it, get another box of halves. Now I'm able to get 4 to 5 boxes at one time, which means I have to do less traveling. I can just pick it up in one shot, go through them, dump them, and pick them up. And that actually helps me. But you know what's not helping me right now? These Brinks rolls. Every time I see a Brinks truck, I roll my eyes because they're doing something. At least I would hope they aren't, but someone had mentioned that their relative or friend worked at Brinks and assured them that they aren't doing anything to tamper with the boxes, but you never know. You really never know. At this point, I'd be happy with one silver. Starting to forget what they look like. That's a 2001, very symbolic of today. And now that my daughter and my son are back in school, I may do more early afternoon streams or early morning streams because I do hunt when I'm not working. I love to hunt whether it's on camera or not. And while the kids were off school, I wasn't able to hunt as frequently. The only time I was able to hunt was on camera. But now that they're in school, I'll be able to do more hunting. So I'm actually excited about that. And now with the 2 new Coinstar machines at my local bank, my production can increase to a level where I probably didn't think was possible. I mean, my production is as high as it is already, but now with the extra time on my hands during the day, that is, no telling what I'll be able to find. And I'm excited for the holiday season. If you guys don't know, that is an ideal time to coin roll hunt because that is when the collection dumps are at its highest. I would say around January, February. So I'm looking forward to that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not rushing the holidays, but I am eager because last time I found 30 Benjis in a box. It was in January or February. But I was only able to get one box at a time during that time. So now that I'm able to get several, I could really come out with a nice number of silver coins. $22 rolls left. Bicentennial. Only one NIFC so far, guys. I see 7 people in the chat. I think everyone except Dizzy is taking a nap. That's just a nice 72. I just got 160 Buffalo nickels, 80 V nickels, and 40 war for prizes when I start. Oh, very nice. That's a good number to start with for sure. 80 V nickels. That's impressive. I only came across one V nickel before, and that was in a BJ's. I know that T Square was having trouble getting half dollars, and now he ordered and picked up an insane amount of quarters and did not find one single uncirculated box. So, as expected, he's probably very frustrated at this point right now. I know he did venture off to Dallas to try to find some coinage, but other than that, I have not heard from him. So I'm not sure what the deal is right now. Hopefully, he'll be able to stream soon. Yeah, when he told me that, I felt very bad because he was gaining some traction. He had some great videos about W's as well. He was finding them on a regular basis. But then when he started getting halves, the bank cut him off. They said, we can't order them for you anymore. So that really sucks. And he hasn't put out any unboxing videos lately either, right? Because I know he was at least putting out content. But now that you bring it up, it has been a while since I've seen him release anything. We have 14 rolls remaining, guys. It looks like the skunk box streak is going to continue. My record is 8 boxes. I hope we don't approach that. Most of the sellers on eBay of San Antonio quarters seem to be in Utah, Montana, and Louisiana. Yes, with the exception of Mickey Rob's Banks, which he's located in Texas. I have not seen them in my area. Have you been actively hunting them, Chris? Have you been looking for the W quarters? Twelve rolls. 12 rolls to go. $73. Oh, I see, Chris. I get this. Nothing at all. 88. 1996. I may have to dump some of these half dollars out of the area just to keep the coinage flowing. Yep, I'm just doing a box of halves. I do have 3 more for tomorrow's stream at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But I finished that penny box so quickly, I said, you know what? Let's just go through these halves. We had 17 Wheaties and 5 Canadians in the penny box. So not a bad box. But this is a bad box. We've only found 1 NIFC. That's it. Actually, now that I think of it, this may be the worst box I've ever had. I don't remember going through a box with only 1 NIC in it. Yes, Colorado was in here earlier as we were discussing the 9/11 tragedy. Oh, that scared me first. This is actually 3/11. I glanced at it for a second. I thought it said that would have been very, very creepy. '96. '74. '78. This has some paint on it. What's going on, Coin Caption? Just doing a spontaneous stream. We're just reminiscing about the events of 9/11, going through a box of pennies, going through a box of halves. We're actually on the last roll of halves, and we have found only 1 NIFC. This is actually the worst box I've ever gone through. But the pennies did pretty well. We had 17 Wheaties and 5 Canadians. Cutie Cat is in the building. I've been lurking like a week since you found 9/11 will never be forgotten. Yes. Thank you for joining me, Cutie Cat. Well, this box is not ending the skunk streak, Dizzy, but I appreciate the love, and I do have 3 boxes for tomorrow's stream at 8:30 Eastern time. So if you guys can, I would appreciate you guys being there. We had a very fun time last night. And just for those that are in the chat, uh, this is the menu here. So if anyone is interested in donating for tomorrow's boxes, there are 3 boxes available. You guys aren't required to donate, but I did want to put up the menu if you were interested. So that's tomorrow, uh, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope that for those that are struggling to get through the day, I really, really hope you guys uh, can push through and come together and help each other out and be there for each other and be supportive. And Colorado, I hope you, if you need anything, you can feel free to reach out to me. And that goes for anyone that's having a difficult time today. I completely understand. And, I hope at least this coin roll hunt helped you guys take your mind off it a little bit, although we were reminiscing about it. I hope us being here together made it a little bit easier on you guys. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I will be streaming tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope to see you guys there. Take care, everybody.